First of all, let me say this. As Anthony was introducing me, I looked around to make sure there wasn't another dead offer in the house, because I wasn't sure that he was referring to me. Thank you. To begin with, let's go ahead and do this. I brought 2 copies of a book I published. One is endorsed to the Huntingdon Library. The other one is signed especially for Anthony Lee. I'd like to present these, Anthony, for you, and this one to the library. Thank you very much. President West, Anthony Lee, inductees, former inductees, family and friends, let me say that I'm delighted to be here today, and I appreciate the efforts that all of you made to be here. You know, I went to the alumni awards meeting last night, and I enjoyed it, and it was really inspiring to me. But nobody talked about having fun. I came to Huntingdon College and certainly was fortunate enough to get an education. Well, people, I'm going to tell you this. I didn't miss nothing, and I had fun. I had lots of fun. I was exposed enough to education to graduate from here, but I had fun. I say that, and I'm proud of it. Good morning. I often wonder what my life would have been without Huntingdon College. I probably would have been hanging off the back of a garbage truck somewhere. Bob Owen, where are you? Can you imagine a garbage truck picking up curb cans with me hanging off one rear bumper, Fred Simpson hanging off the other, Larry Baggett driving, Larry would have had his head out the window hollering, "If y'all find any of them magazines with girls in them, save them." Larry Baggett was an outstanding basketball player here at Huntingdon. Certainly was a good friend. Coach Posey once said that Larry Baggett was put together with a committee. He said from the waist down, Larry Baggett looked like Tarzan, and from the waist up, he looked like olive oil. Coach Posey said that, I didn't say it. Jimmy Skelton, one of the truly great basketball players ever to play here, and a great friend of mine, and I must say, Jimmy, you were the only guy here that was as poor as I was in those days. Jimmy lived with me, and he lived with my family for one summer back home. It allowed Jimmy to save some money for college. Lefty needed a summer job, and Daddy got him a job at the Rock Bar, working at night. Mother ran a cafe, so that provided 3 meals a day, and they weren't bad with it. We had a great big garden, and everybody in the family worked in that garden. Lefty helped too. One day my mother said to me, she said, "Is there something wrong with Jimmy's arms?" I said, "No, not that I know. He's a great basketball player." She said, "Well, Edwin, he's the only person I've ever seen pick butterbeans standing up." She said, "Edwin, he doesn't even have to bend over." I swear I've seen him tie his shoes standing up. So if you ever wonder of Lefty's basketball skills, he had more reach than any person that I've ever known. I came from a small rural county in Georgia, and when I arrived here, I've never seen so many pretty girls in my entire life. It was almost breathtaking. Whoa, that ain't where I meant. It was almost breathtaking. It was quite a colorful shot. There was a ratio of 3 co-eds to every one boy here. How in this world was a country board of study? In fact, Coach Posey once was quoted saying, Ed Oliver and Goose Tatum were the only 2 athletes ever to graduate here totally untouched by education. I've insisted that he was referring to Goose. Goose swears he was talking about me. I guess we're both guilty through association. Woody Weaver, Coach never explained that statement, and I'm glad he did. But you know, Woody, come to think of it, there was a heap of things that Coach didn't explain. A guy that couldn't find a date here in those days with the ratios of co-eds to males needed to do several things. First of all, needed to check his deodorant. Maybe invest in some canoe or English leather cologne. Purchase a pair of Corbin Weegan loafers. Buy some button-down collared Gant Oxford cloth shirts. A pair of starched Levi jeans, and throw away every pair of socks he owned. Seriously, folks, and very seriously, I remain in awe of the history, the tradition, the class, the commitment to excellence, the vision, and many opportunities that this place presented and offered me. Where would I be without Huntingdon College? Well, I guess I could have rolled back in driving that garbage truck. I owe everything. I owe everything positive in my life to my Lord, my family, my friends, and Huntingdon College. Being nominated and inducted into the Huntingdon Athletic Hall of Fame is simply one of the most important and significant things in my life. No one here, and I say to you, no one here knows what this means to me or can imagine what it means to me. I'll forever be grateful to Bob Owens and the nominating committee, and thank you, Anthony Lee. Thank you for all the effort that you've made to make today special. It is a special day. I presented 2 books, one to Anthony and one to the Huntingdon Library. I was never aware that the library had books in it. Until one day Martha Joe explained this to me. We ain't going out no more till you stop some of your foolish ways. That's when I discovered the library had books in it. I'm grateful to a special person. I'm very grateful to a special person, Don Hart. Don is responsible for me being in Huntingdon. It was Don that paved the way. Don Hart was the best all-around amateur athlete that I ever saw play. He was the most competitive, hard-working, and responsible person I ever played with. Don simply would not let you get beat. And more important, he always had your back when things got tough. Thank you, Don and Mary Ellen, for being here today. And thank you for all you've done for me and for many, many others. Thank you, Don. I'm indebted to one of the best men I've ever known, Coach Neil Posey, and to the man with the most patience I've ever known, Coach John Mayer. Most college baseball coaches will send all of us home when after a long, hard practice, the entire baseball team dived into the indoor gym pool in full gear. Shoes, uniform, caps, and all. Big Bobby Mason went straight to the bottom. He looked like a manatee with catching gear right there. Took the whole team to get him out. That's a true story. For some reason, that red dirt turned that pretty blue water orange. Guy Blair, the gym custodian and quite a character, had special names for some of the players. He saw Fred Sampson coming from the shower and said to him, "Hosey, Hosey, what seems to be wrong with the pool water? It sure is looking orange. It sure is orange looking. Fred said, Guy, I think some of those town students put Kool-Aid in it. Guy mumbled as he stepped away. Hosey, I sure wish they'd have used grape. I sure do wish they'd have used grape. And I hope it's appropriate, and I hope it's fitting, but I hope it was funny myself. I promise Anthony it's all true. And I know I was told I had 4 minutes to speak, and I've used 2 of them. Martha Reese, my wife of 47 years, mother of our children and our 8 grandchildren, and they're all here today. Graduated from Huntingdon, she's the love of my life, and she's in attendance today. But upon hearing a 4-minute talk, she said, Ed Oliver, at your age, sometimes it takes you longer than that to tingle. I was in graduate school at Tennessee State University. Martha was a senior here at Huntingdon when we announced our engagement. A day or so later, I received a letter from a good friend, Gerald Corley. The letter I received read, Congratulations. Ed, I just read you and Martha Joe's engagement announcement in the paper, and all I have to say is this. We think you may have punted way past your coverage. Well, Gerald Corley, you were probably right, but Martha Joe didn't know that. And you don't need to go tell her today either. If I told her for 47 years, you don't need to give me away on this Saturday. Gerald, his beautiful wife Anna are here today, and I appreciate you being here. As for poking fun at oneself, I'm about to reveal something that even my closest Huntingdon friends do not know. I graduated from Huntingdon in 4 years plus a summer, John, without ever making a beat. Now, folks, that took brilliance. Folks, that took intelligence, dedication, and effort. Huntingdon ranks among the elite in academic excellence. I think I hold that record for all athletes ever at Huntingdon College. It's a tremendous accomplishment. I came close to making a video once. But when Dr. Penny go, after the praise the second time, you got it. I have to see it. Folks, I thought the alphabet started with C. I thought amen absent. Oh, Lord. I had some wonderful and had many good friends that encouraged me here at Huntingdon. My good friend Goose Taylor was one of them. I will always, forever be indebted to Goose. I was failing Dr. Chapel's history course my first semester here, and I was absolutely distraught. And I needed someone to talk to, and I needed someone to talk to badly. So I went to Goose. Goose was in his room intensely studying. I interrupted him and I told him my desperate situation and explained that if I didn't pass history, I would not be eligible for baseball in the spring. Well, Goose, being the intelligent, visionary philosopher that he was and still is today, showed his absolute, true friendship. He thought about it a few minutes, looked up from the centerfold of the Playboy magazine he was studying, looked me sternly in the eye, and as sincerely as he could, uttered these words that have inspired me my entire life. He said, well, Ed, don't worry about it. You know you were never college material anyway. Oh, what a friend. What a friend. That was the last thing I needed, dude. That was the last thing I needed. Thank you anyway for your encouragement, especially for your friendship. Let you can relate to this. When my grades went right home that summer, my mother was on a rampage. After a long condemnation and assault, in an effort to diffuse the whole thing, I said, Mom, just what would you think if I brought home grades of nothing but A and B? Without blinking or changing expression, she said, Edwin, I think you've been cheating. Actually, I hold another record here tonight. Few of you know this either, but I am delighted to announce, President West, that I hold the record for the shortest time ever recorded for sliding from one end of the second floor Massey Hall to the other, butt naked, on the floor soaked with Tide washing powders, Dawn dishwashing soap, and warm water. It's an amazing record. It's one of my greatest achievements. When I made that final record-breaking slide, I noticed that the hall which was lined with half the dorm just a few minutes more, and a few minutes earlier, and I noticed that all of them were screaming, "Go Ed, go!" But as I started that slide, I noticed that there wasn't a single person in the hall. Well, there was one person, and she was standing at the far end of the hall with her arms folded. It was Love Mayberry, the dorm. Once one started that slide, there was no stopping. It was like an out-of-control bobsled. I was banging off one wall and then the other. And as I slid by Love Mayberry, I had one leg high in the air, and I was in the most uncompromised. However, this is the truth. However, I saw a slight smile start in one corner of her mouth. Then it slowly moved across her lips and settled in the other. I have often wondered if that smile was from her amusement or if it was my lack of endowment. Through the years, I've concluded it was the latter. She said to me, here's what she said, Ed Oliver, I'll be in your room tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. And Ed Oliver, you better be up. And Ed Oliver, you better have some clothes on. You see, Goose? I told you I'd mount something one of these days. This is serious and it's very important to me. The year was 1927. The great New York Yankee player, Lou Gehrig, was known for having the best eye in the game. It was the golden years of baseball in the Yankees. It was the 1920s, the year of Babe Ruth, the years of the Depression. Lou Gehrig, as humble as he possibly was, seldom ever took the third college strike. In the second game, the Yankees were down 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Lou Gehrig came to the plate with runs at second, third, and 2 outs. The count went full. The pitcher delivered. Lou started to swing, but he held up. The umpire's right arm went in the air and Lou Gehrig had struck out Lou. He turned to the umpire and yelled something that could not be heard above the crowd. At that moment, the Yankee fans covered the field with beer bottles, pop bottles, and trash. The umpire had to be escorted to safety. Luke Eric had the reputation of simply never taking a third call strike, but also, and more important, coach, he had the reputation of never, ever arguing balls and strikes. When the New York press gathered around Luke Eric's locker, one reporter asked this question. He said, "Luke, what did you say to the umpire?" Here's his answer. He said, "I said I would give $1,000 to see that pitch again." Folks, I say to you this morning, I'd give $1,000 for one more day on this campus with a feeling of love and friendship and joy we shared at Huntingdon. You know, we accomplish very little alone in this life, very little. And we deserve very little. We earn what we get. We all stand on the shoulders of someone else. I stand on the shoulders of my wonderful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I stand on the shoulders of my family, and I stand on the shoulders of my friends. I want to call some names of the shoulders I stand on. Butch Ernest, Bob Oldham, Fred Simpson, Goose Taylor, Gerald Ford, Stan Seth, Donna Hart, Larry Bagby, Jeff Williams, Tommy Payne, Jimmy Childers, Woody Weaver, Jimmy Skelton, John Brigham, Jerry Smith, Perry McCain, Mule Seegers, and many, many more have remained close as friends through all these years. And certainly Don Hart, meeting the love of my life, Martha Joe Reese, was the determining factor of my future. Thank you, Martha Joe. Thank you for loving me all these years and the blessing you've been to me and our 4 children and our 8 grandchildren. I'm so humbled and so grateful too. To the remainder of those aliens' names I just called, I say, if laughter, foolishness, and bull compost was music, we'd all be on Broadway. If it's acceptable and proper, I want to dedicate this honor. I want to dedicate it to my long-time friend, my roommate, special person, and great American, Butch Ernest. His love and spirit is here today. I can feel it. I can feel Butch Ernest here today. And I say to you, Butch, I thank you for what you meant to me. Butch left us last year and his wife Jackie is in attendance. To each of you in attendance, especially family, I say, thank you for the efforts you made to be here. Many of you traveled many long miles. And a special thanks to my family. I wouldn't ask them to stand, and I won't ask them to stand because some of them probably don't want to get to know that they're associated with me. You've allowed the inductees to share the special occasion. Remember this: faith, wisdom, and service. Faith in a great Heavenly Father. Wisdom to seek and follow His will. And using that wisdom to serve our fellow man. Those 3 words have been carved in the Huntingdon seal since 1854. It represents who we are, and it represents who we always will be. May a great, gracious, and forgiving God continue to bless Huntingdon College, and I thank you from the very depths of my heart.